Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to our Group B preview for Euro 2020. If you haven't watched the Group A preview already, then I have to question the order in which you approach things in life. But you can go back and watch it afterwards, as well as all the other previews. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you enjoy it, most of our content is on our podcast, so just search for the Big Chill Podcast on your preferred podcast platform. So
yeah, don't forget about Instagram and Twitter as well.
Follow us.
If you're going to subscribe,
everywhere.
Go everywhere.
Yeah. Spend the next 5 minutes of your life searching for the Big Chill Podcast everywhere.
Big Pill.
The Big
That's
Pill
a different
Podcast.
one.
Yeah. Don't listen to them. But Frank, over to you for Group B.
Yes, Group B, the group of Belgium, fittingly in Group B. So, I mean, that's obviously the storyline here is the number one ranked team in the world. Kind of their golden generation dying down a little bit now, kind of a last run or two. Supposedly, that's kind of what everyone's feeling is it's either kind of becoming now or never, right? So last World Cup, they reached the semis, but couldn't get the win. This is the year I think that they have to make the finals, and I think honestly have to win the finals to even be considered towards being a golden generation. You can't call yourself a golden generation and never make a finals. So,
well, you got to drop the Americanisms here. The final, because they are in the finals now, but
okay.
But because it's only a single match. But look, if you're saying that you can't call yourself a golden generation and not win a major tournament, then England have some issues for the past 50 years.
You can have golden generations that were meant to be golden generations, according to your theory, but point taken with Belgium, yeah. Right? That there is that kind of slow feeling that they're coming towards a point where it has to happen soon.
Well, I also think too, yes, they are running out of time probably with this generation, and for a country of their size, you'd have to expect it's unusual for them to have so many world-class players, and also in a number of different positions. That's why they're really fortunate, right? You're talking about a world-class goalkeeper all the way right through to a world-class forward, and they're also in the kind of spine of the team when you look through it. Good central defenders, good central midfielders. So yeah, probably the last chance. And also they come into this, Lukaku coming into it in almost the form of his life. Kevin De Bruyne has had a very good season, even if he's now,
faceless.
Not seeing properly. So this does feel like it needs to be their tournament, or else it could be a long time before they're contenders again.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it head on. Not only do they have the talent, the talent is certainly clicking right now. I mean, Lukaku just came off a great season. De Bruyne, obviously, world class, despite having a fractured eye socket. But I have heard he's been walking around the lunchroom and people are excited. So happy to see him. You got to love useless reporting. So they're clearly the favorites. Then you go on to the rest of the group. And from there, it's a little tricky in the next two. So you have Denmark and Russia, I think, are going to fight for the second spot. Denmark is coming in pretty hot. So they've just won all three of their World Cup qualifiers, scoring 14 and conceding none. But you kind of have to take that with a little hesitation because it was Israel, Moldova, and Austria. So they're not playing world-class competition, but they have been playing well. And I think there's always something, especially in an international squad, when teams are rarely together for long periods of time, to get your team together and to be so successful right before a major tournament, I think is a good thing to have. They obviously don't have the depth that Belgium have, but they do have a good team. They have a lot of good forward depth. You had Martin Braithwaite, who played pretty well for Barcelona. You have Schmeichel in the back for Leicester. So he's always,
Schmeichel.
Hot. Precious.
Lord of the Rings coming.
Schmeichel.
My precious.
Schmeichel.
Schmeichel. What did I say?
Schmeichel.
You basically said
it was somewhere between
Schmeichel, sorry.
Yeah, it was somewhere between being Bilbo Baggins and being a Danish goalkeeper. I'm not sure which mid-transformation.
It's my Hobbit accent. So I mean, I think they right now, I believe, are favored to get top 2 out of them and Russia.
Yeah,
is that correct,
for
Eddie?
the group betting? So Belgium are 8-11 to win the group. Denmark are 9-4. Russia are 5-1, and Finland are the rank outsiders at 16-1.
Okay. Yeah, and obviously with Denmark, you need to rely on Christian Eriksen, who I don't know how you feel he played at Inter this season, but he does play well internationally.
Sometimes he didn't.
Yeah,
He didn't really play.
Internationally, he's got 36 goals in 100 appearances. So, maybe he can step it up at the international stage like he has in the past and kind of pull them together. And then you have Russia, on the other hand, who played well in the last World Cup, but they also hosted it. And
they will be hosting.
Yeah,
they will be hosting games in
yeah,
this
they
group
got 2
stage,
or
right?
3.
Because the group is
exactly. Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, I think that's going to be major to their benefit, is that they have either the matches are either in Copenhagen or in Russia. So,
and that's an interesting part, is that Denmark have all 3 at home in this. So
Yep.
considering that they're the second favourite, you would have thought that Belgium's odds would be a bit longer, or shorter, sorry, if Denmark didn't have 3 home games. I think that's quite short for Belgium to win the group. Sorry, I believe that's actually pretty good value. What I mean, to win that group.
I was going to say, I think 8 to 11 on
great
Belgium
value.
to win the group seems. If I looked at the group betting and the team, I felt comfortable in that they will win the group. I think Belgium have the best odds of the teams, where I would be surprised if they didn't top their group.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Russia are coming into this completely the opposite from Denmark. So while Denmark is kind of firing, Russia have just 2 clean sheets and 18 goals in 11 games conceded since start of 2020. So they are not coming in as a hot team. But like we said, the difference is that they did well in 2018 when they were able to play at home, and they're kind of lucky now that they are also still playing at home. So that home field advantage could obviously play into their hand, and they might sneak into that 2 spot. But Denmark also have those home matches. So I'm leaning more towards Denmark over Russia to finish second, and Russia to finish third in this. And then you have Finns. So they qualified by finishing second in their group with Italy, but they were way back from Italy. It wasn't like a close second. They were a clear distant second. Not much about them to really go on. The biggest strengths I could find that everyone kept popping up was just their team chemistry, having played together for a really long time. So their national team is constantly together, constantly training together and playing together. But the reason for that is because they don't have a lot of those international stars, besides Pukki, who plays at Norwich, who had actually a really good season, I think 26 goals.
Norwich, yeah. This has been a tough one for you. We're making you run the gauntlet in words here. Although I didn't expect you to say Schmeichel earlier.
I don't know how I said Schmeichel.
No, I do agree with you. Like Pikachu over there. Timo Pukki is obviously the standout player. Of the Finland squad. It's also a tough one. They play a different formation almost every match. So I know we'll have a long debate on a later episode about what England's sort of best 11 and best formation should be. I am sure there is a Finnish podcast out there where they are having a really animated debate about what Finland's formation.
There's a market for us to go into.
Perhaps, yeah. Maybe we'll try and plug this there. But yeah, they play 3-5-2, 5-3-2, 4-4-2 in across the sort of matches they've played recently. Very defensive. Just because apart from Pukki, they don't really pose much of a goal scoring threat. So I agree with you. It's a tough one to you got the kind of the short end of the stick in some ways in terms of having to analyze the Finnish team. But I'm sure that one of the things we'll hear, right, is about how nice and pleasant they all are. That's one you can definitely expect. And how everyone, if there are any Finnish fans in attendance, just how pleasant. That will be the storyline of Euro 2020. Will definitely be how Finland will become everybody's second team.
Do you think they're going to come up with an incredible chant like the Icelandics? one, and that's how they became so like endeared to everyone. Like the Finns will do something.
I hated that. Actually, I take this back. I didn't hate when Iceland did it. I hated that I hated when France started doing it during the Euros. And I very much hate that other teams have done it subsequently. Like, sometimes you got to know it's another team's thing and leave them to it.
Yeah.
But no, I think we should... it's difficult for me. I know, Sam, for Group A, I asked you... I could give you Belgian waffles. I don't know really what the food of Finland is. I can think of
a
maybe
Danish pastry, not for Finland, but
yeah.
for also give them a Danish pastry.
Russia, I don't know, some Borst or something, and
Vodka,
and have some vodka. And for Finland, I don't know, they probably
herring.
Elk meat or something. I don't know.
herring.
Why not?
But anyway, yeah. So I think we're all expecting Belgium to top the group, and I think Denmark will finish second. But be interesting to see what happens.
I think so too. I think they're coming in a lot fresher, a lot hotter than Russia.
Yeah, I think the Russian team kind of, because they were hosting the World Cup, they kind of peaked all their players, all their development, etc. for that competition. You naturally see a tail off after that, and I think that's what they're seeing at the moment. So yeah, I'd put the Danes in second.
Right. On that note, I guess that wraps up Group B.
And then actually, just real quick, the last match of the entire group is Russia versus Denmark. So that could be the decider for second, which would be pretty fun to have, that deciding match be the last one of the entire group. Is kind of neat.
True. But yeah, on that note, I guess we wrap up the Group B preview and stick in the order. So if you're watching this, switch over to Group C. Hopefully YouTube will do the right thing and have that as the next suggested video.